Joining us on the broadcast is Major Mohammed Ali Shah, defense expert. Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for joining us on NewsX. A very comprehensive press briefing by the Army Chief. He has addressed a range of topics right along from the ceasefire, along the LOC. He's spoken about the J&K and the security situation in Jammu and Kashmir. He's also spoken about the LAC and talks with China. Additionally, he's also addressed the Northeast, particularly the situation in Manipur as well as the Indo-Myanmar border. He's spoken about the army enhancing its capability via incorporating technology as such. And I'd first like to, in fact, address the situation and the statements made on Manipur itself. He has said that the army is in fact aiding the civil administration. The Assam Rifles and all of the units of the army have given a good account of ourselves. And I further go on to quote what he said, and he said that they have exhibited a lot of restraint, sometimes even against provocations. But that is not all. He is also in fact commented upon the Indo-Myanmar border with this regard, and has also stated that the Assam Rifles is posted on the ground at this point. They are in fact conducting operations and are keeping an eye out on what is taking place along the Myanmar border. And he has stated that combined with the situation in Manipur, it is something that we are keeping a close watch on. We have close to 20 Assam Rifles battalions which are deployed at the Indo-Myanmar border. What do you make of all of these statements, and as well as the army's efforts to ensure normalcy of peace?
Firstly, I would like to say that, I feel very elated that we have a very, very strong army chief at the helm of affairs, General Manoj Pandey, who holds the reign in a very, who's got, I would say this quote, an iron hand in velvet gloves. So, I would say he has led the army in a very, very fine way. Now, the very fact is very elaborate press briefing by the army chief where he addressed issues about the line of action control, and let me bring them one by one, slowly and gradually. He mentioned about that he want to continue talks with China as yet, and so that we can go back to the status quo that was there before mid-2020 when Colonel Babu was martyred along with 20 other brave hearts at Galwan. We all saw what happened in Galwan. He also mentioned that they have identified 355 army posts from where they have asked for 4G connection from the telecom ministry, where forward areas, airfields, helipads, they've been located. They would require that infrastructure very, very well. He also addressed the issue of the Kashmir militancy, which you mentioned, and we said that security is very much in order. We saw a few days back, in fact, this about 2 weeks back or so, General Manoj Pandey himself had gone to J&K, and he addressed the people there. He made people feel that they are, he told our soldiers also to conduct in a professional manner. And so it speaks very highly. Now, when he has addressed the issue of Manipur, now comes the part which is very, very dear to my heart personally, because I began my schooling from there as a small child from the northeast part of India, and I have spent a lot of time over there. Now, when he spoke about Manipur as well, Manipur, we have to understand one thing, as even the CDS, General Ali Shah had said when at the start of the problem, it's an ethnic problem, not a communal problem, at all. So the very fact is, when he has addressed, incidentally and coincidentally, it coincides with just yesterday, 10th of January, the DG Assam Rifle, the Director General Assam Rifle, Lieutenant General Pradeep Nair, PC Nair, he had gone to Moreh, and we know that there was trouble in Moreh, and he was briefed by a very illustrious officer. Brigadier Yadav was the sector commander there, who gave a very elaborate briefing. He also met with the CSOs. CSOs are who? The civil organizations, like, they were he met all the communities, be it Maite, be it Kukis, be it the Sikh community, be it the Tamil community over there, be it the Gurkha community. He met everyone, and he assured them that the sobriquet of Assam Rifles, which you mentioned, of the friend of the help. In fact, this is an Assam Rifles tie which I am wearing, which was presented to me at the Major Bob Khating lecture. So that's a different story altogether. Now, the very fact when the army chief and the Director General Assam Rifles, when they are army and the Assam Rifles, they are in tandem. I had the honor of being the ADC to the Corps Commander, the GOC-3 Corps, they have done deputation to the Assam Rifles. So I can speak on both behalf. Especially in Manipur, the army and the Assam Rifles both are doing a commendable job, yeoman job, I would say. It is something which is really, it is very difficult to serve in that area. They have to understand the geography, demography, topography, history, the tribal culture, the tribal affinity, the communities, because there are so many different communities. Like, for example, even in Maites, they are Maite Christian as well, and who would be having names like me and the Assam Rifles. I have to really, and I'm not being biased over here, by the way, not because I come from the army. I am in touch with my people, with my friends from the northeast part of India, almost on a day-to-day basis. All my phones that come are all from Manipur, in fact, incidentally. From all tribes, all communities. So the very fact when the army chief addressed a conference, he addressed a troubled state like Manipur right now at the moment. Manipur had hosted the Femina Miss India in an international polo tournament and whatnot. You name it. And Manipur was developing. And Manipur is a state which has contributed a great deal in nation building. We've had Mirabai Chanu, we had Mary Kom, we've had the best of sportsmen, the best of literates, the best of academicians. They've all come from Manipur. So Manipur is definitely a state which cannot be neglected. And when the army chief speaks on that, at the helm of affairs he is there, of course it conveys a loud and clear message to everyone. So I really say that the army chief has given a very, very elaborate, very good, precise, crisp, to the point, and he's a no-nonsense person, in fact. When he was a brigade commander in Akhnur. Akhnur is a place where I was commissioned as a young lieutenant way back in 20 years back. So General Manoj Pandey, as a brigadier, he was there, and his command has been flawless, absolutely. So the right man to be at the helm of affairs, the right man to actually lead the army, and being in tandem with the Assam Rifles. And we have a very fine Director General Assam Rifles as well, Lieutenant Pradeep Nair, who I just mentioned about, and his staff, his BGS, his Lieutenant Colonel Vikas is the PRO of the Assam Rifles. So they work in tandem. So the very fact, because you touched upon Manipur, and it's a subject extremely dear and close to my heart, and I get very, very emotional whenever I speak on Manipur especially. So when the army chief had conveyed a message, be it on JNK, be it on China, be it on the northeast part of India, that's Manipur, because in 2017 itself, General Bipin Rawat had said, former CDS, he had said, he was the former chief and then the CDS, he had said that India is prepared for a 2.5 front war. And when he said 2.5 front, he said Pakistan on the western frontiers, China on the eastern frontiers, and the internal militancy that we are, the terrorism from JNK, the internal militancy that we are, the challenges that we are facing. So the army chief has put a lot of people's anxiety at rest and the thought at rest, because I can't think that there can be a more crystal clear press conference than this. And just yesterday, as I mentioned, when the DG Assam Rifles had gone to Moreh, I don't think a louder and more clear message than that can be. I'll just quickly conclude by saying that the only way forward, which the army chief and the DG Assam Rifles also says, and the top brass of the army believes in, which is by winning hearts and minds of the local people, because the local people are when they support us. I'm just concluding by saying that, when I was posted there, I was very fortunate that I had seen JNK and then the northeast part of India. So I had seen the operation on both the sides. Every 3 months, we would donate blood, we would have education camps, health checkups, health camps, eye camps, and we would do, and like there is Sadbhavna in Jammu Kashmir, in fact, where we have to win hearts and minds of the locals. So they are top generals, they believe in that. They are leading our forces in the right way, and my salutes to them. Once again, Sir, Jai Hind, sir. Thank you.
Sir, I wanted to also ask a follow-up. We've addressed the Northeast in particular, and one of the points that was in fact raised by the Army Chief was that about 30% of the weapons have been recovered until now. But apart from this, he's also spoken in depth about Jammu and Kashmir. He said that there were about 20 people who lost their lives in Rajouri, and the Army is at the point strengthening their intelligence network. But at the same same time, they're also engaging in outreach to the local population and also strengthening their technical power as well as incorporating new technologies. My colleague on ground had referred to the fact that drones are now being used to monitor the movement of terrorists. There are, in fact, security has been beefed up. A lot of terror attempts have been foiled. An IED was also recovered today itself on the ground. And the army chief said something towards the end of his speech when he was talking about J&K, that operations will continue in a relentless fashion. How crucial do you think such statements are in order to boost the morale of the officers and the Jawans who are posted on ground?
See, the army chief, having known him personally and having a lot of regard and respect for him, he is a person, he is a ground soldier. And whenever he visits a forward formation, he always believes in meeting the ground soldier and the formation commanders on ground. And he believes in soldiering on ground. Kya ho raha hai? He should know the right report because he always believes. In fact, a young officer, he would give a young officer a lot of importance also. A soldier, a Jawan, he would give a lot of importance also. And we in the armed forces, we really believe in one thing. When the morale of the soldiers is high, like for example, I'll just quickly equate it for everyone to connect. Everyone would have heard the famous quote or famous saying or the how the Josh, when the film Uri. Well, that's not a dialogue from a film, by the way. It's a very, very common terminology in our forces, which we use on a day-to-day basis to check the morale of our troops, to see how they are. And only when you have the morale of the troops going strong, you actually can function very well. I'll quickly conclude by telling you a small anecdote. In the year 2003, when I was posted at the line of control, I was 30 meters away from the Pakistani post. We were manning the last post of the country, and here was the Indian flag, here 30 meters away. In the middle, there was the electric fencing, and here was the Pakistani post. On the neighboring post, we got to know that one of our soldiers has been wounded, and everybody was rushing towards there, okay. And the commanding officer, who was the full colonel, he came to see his soldier. And the moment he came to see his soldier, the boy who was wounded suddenly got up with full zest, enthusiasm, energy, Josh. He got up, saluted the commanding officer and said, "Jai Hind Sahab." So that was the morale, that was the Josh. See, right leadership, where it can lead to. And we are very fortunate that we have such people at the helm of affairs like the Army Chief, General Manoj Pandey, you spoke about Assam Rifles as well, Lieutenant General Pradeep Nair. So we have such great leaders. So the force is definitely bound to do well under their command.
All right, sir. With that, I would like to thank you for taking out time, joining us on the broadcast, presenting your insights into this matter.